Come on in, take a deep breath, leave the ordinary behind. Welcome to the place where every fragrance comes to life. Some destinations are easy to find. Others, they've been searched for thousands of years. Generations have followed ancient stories, weathered maps, and impossible dreams. Yet, no one can say with certainty whether this place was even real. But today, we're setting the coordinates anyway, because sometimes the greatest journeys begin with just two simple words: I wonder. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Misty's Musings. I'm Misty, and I'm so happy that you have joined me for another journey. So, welcome back to fellow time travelers. Where will fragrance take us today? Our coordinates are locked, and our destination, it's been entered. So, let's begin our journey. Today's destination is Atlantis. The journey is just beginning. So, just hearing the name Atlantis stirs something inside us, doesn't it? For over 2,000 years, people have searched for this mysterious place. Some believe it was a magnificent civilization that truly existed. Others just believe it was a story created by ancient Greek philosopher Plato to teach an important lesson. So the truth is, no one really knows. And perhaps that's exactly why Atlantis has never stopped capturing our imagination. Not because we have all the answers, but because we don't. Atlantis reminds us that there are still mysteries in this world, still questions worth asking, still places our imagination is free to explore. I think that is the one thing I love the most about history and mythology, is sometimes they don't ask us to prove something. They simply invite us to wonder. And today, that is exactly what we're going to do. Our passport to adventure today is Atlantis by Xarmony Perfumes. When I first heard the name Atlantis, I assumed that I knew what this fragrance is going to smell like. I imagined crashing waves and cool ocean air, salt carried on the breeze, but then something unexpected happened. As I spent time with this fragrance, I realized that this wasn't the story at all that was being told. Instead of imagining Atlantis after it disappeared beneath the sea, this fragrance imagines Atlantis while it was still alive, a thriving paradise, a civilization overflowing with beauty, a place where nature and elegance existed in perfect harmony. As I close my eyes, I can almost picture walking beneath magnificent orchards filled with fruit so vibrant that they seem almost mythical. Golden sunlight filters through the branches, the air is warm and peaceful and alive, and the sweetness of ripe mango just hangs in the air. Juicy watermelon sparkles in the morning light, and bright citrus glows like drops of sunlight scattered among the trees. Every breath feels fresh and joyful and full of life. As I continue my walk, the gardens begin to change. The palm trees gently sway in the distance, and the creamy scent of coconut begins to drift through the air. Soft vanilla follows behind it and wraps everything in a warm, comforting embrace. And then, almost unnoticed, sandalwood and amber begins to appear. Not loudly, not demanding attention, but quietly grounding the entire experience with warmth and timeless elegance. I imagine beautiful stone pathways leading through gardens overflowing with color, crystal fountains catching the sunlight, birds singing somewhere in the distance, the laughter of families, scholars sharing ideas, artists creating beauty, children running through orchards that seem destined to last forever. This fragrance doesn't ask me to imagine the tragedy of Atlantis. It asks me to experience the beauty, to walk its gardens, to breathe its airs, to remember that before every legend became a mystery, it was someone's home. And I think that's what makes fragrance so special to me. It doesn't smell like loss. It smells like life. One of the reasons that I fell in love with Xarmony perfumes is because they invite me to imagine. The fragrances don't feel like someone simply just mixed up some beautiful ingredients together. They feel like stories waiting to be experienced. That's why this time traveler series, this is why it exists for me. I love talking about Xarmony's journeys that it takes us on. I'm not here just to give you a list of fragrance notes. I'm here to invite you on the journey with me, to imagine together, to explore together, because fragrance has that incredible ability to transport us. Sometimes it takes us back to a memory. Sometimes it introduces us to someone from history. And sometimes it carries us to a place that may have never even existed at all. Yet somehow it can still feel real. So every journey that I go on through Xarmony perfumes, the journey leaves me with something behind. Not a souvenir, not an artifact, but something more valuable. Something that we can carry inside of us. And today, we place wonder in our time capsule. Wonder reminds us that we don't have to know every answer. Wonder encourages us to keep asking questions, to keep learning, and to keep dreaming. But most of all, to keep exploring. Because the moment we stop wondering, we stop discovering. Today's treasure is wonder. Wonder keeps our hearts young. It reminds us that there's imagination, and imagination is something that we don't leave behind in childhood. It's something that we carry with us throughout our whole lives. Wonder is that thing that just inspires sailors and explorers to go beyond the horizon, artists to create masterpieces, scientists to make discoveries, and perfumers like Trill Noel to create worlds inside little bottles that we get to enjoy. And perhaps it's what brought all of us here together. So before we end today's journey, I'd love for you to help fill our time capsule. Tell me, what fragrance are you wearing today? And if you could, just place one treasure into our time capsule today. What would that be? Maybe it's joy, maybe it's peace, and maybe it's comfort. Maybe it's gratitude, or maybe it's something completely of your own. Leave both your fragrance and your treasure in the comments below. I cannot wait to read them. And who knows, your treasure may inspire another fellow time traveler. Well, fellow time travelers, our journey has come to an end. And Atlantis from Xarmony Perfumes, you have been a great adventure. Thank you for joining us while we explored one of the history's greatest mysteries through the beautiful artistry of fragrance. So, I can't wait to see where we go next. Until our next journey, I'm Misty, and thank you for spending this time with me. Stay curious and never lose your sense of wonder. Thank you for spending a little time with me today. If you enjoyed today's fragrance adventure, I'd love to have you back. Subscribe, ring the bell, and become part of our fragrance family. Until next time, may your days be filled with beautiful fragrances, and remember, you're always welcome here, where every fragrance comes to life.